Director Rajiv Bajaj, MD of Bajaj Auto, joins me. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Bajaj. First, let me get the numbers out of the way. Sir, how did October go for you?
October was a good month for us. A total of 386,000 motorcycles and three-wheelers, which is flat compared with last year, within which we have about close to 50,000 three-wheelers and the balance is motorcycles. I would point out that last year the festive season was a month later in the sense that Diwali was in early November, and that is why one cannot strictly compare whether for the industry or for any particular manufacturer October this year with last year, because this October manufacturers would reduce their billing to their dealers because the festive season is already over. So you will not get a like-to-like comparison if you compare this October with last October.
So let me understand this a little bit. You're saying that last year you would have sold more in October because dealers were buying more ahead of the festive season. Is that correct?
You are right. Let me elaborate. Last October, we were selling more to dealers because they were still stocking up to deliver on Dhanteras and Diwali, which was in November. In that sense, last October, primary sales to dealers would have greater traction than they would this October. However, if one looks at secondary sales in terms of retails to customers, companies and their dealers have sold more to customers this October than they did last October. However, what is reported to SIAM is primary sales, and that is why you're finding the dissonance you're finding.
So you're saying that if one looks at the actual retail sales which have taken place from dealers, we'll probably get a better picture for this year compared to last year?
Absolutely. I don't have, obviously retail data for the industry, but I can tell you this, for the motorcycle industry, domestic motorcycle industry, if you look at October, you would see that it's approximately a 10% decline from 1.1 million last October to 1 million this October. But if you were to look at retail sales, you would actually get a different picture. So I think on the whole, the trend is still marginally positive. I don't think it's a double-digit growth, but it's marginally positive. But it is not a decline. This is just because of the shift in the festive season.
Okay, some of your peers actually had announced that on Dhanteras Day they've had record sales, record push-outs to dealers. Was that true for you as well?
Well, it depends on what is exactly meant by what they said, because sometimes different companies use different terminologies. It started off, if I remember right, and if my information is correct, with Hero claiming to have retailed 150,000 vehicles. This was followed by HMSI's claim of 165,000, and very quickly by Hero claiming 200,000. So that itself, to me, is something fuzzy. Having said that, let me tell you what the numbers were for Bajaj. For Bajaj, it was as little or as much as 33,000 motorcycles retailed on that day. When I say retail, I actually mean customers who walked into dealerships that day, who expressed a desire to buy a motorcycle, who paid up the money, and who therefore availed of a motorcycle on that day. That is what we call retail for the day. I think what the competition is referring to is not retails, but deliveries. Now, deliveries is different. If Bajaj has retailed 33,000 motorcycles on that day, we probably delivered 70, 80, 90,000 motorcycles, because there's a lot of customers who wanted to buy a Pulsar or a Discover who have not taken the chance of waiting to the last day. They have booked it ahead of time, they have paid in advance, and they've simply come and collected their motorcycle on that day. So it really depends on whether you're talking retail or delivery.
But when you publish the details to SIAM about what your sales are for the month, does that include delivery and include delivery and what has been pushed out in that particular month, even if the bookings have taken place the previous month?
No, it includes neither retail nor delivery nor any combination of that. That is simply the billing from a manufacturer to his dealers. It has nothing to do. It offers no visibility of what has happened between the dealer and the customer.
Oh, all right. And it does not happen, it does not, it's a billing. It's not necessarily even what has gone out of the factory gate.
Oh, it is. When I say billing, I mean motorcycles or three-wheelers that were shipped out of the factory. They may not have reached the dealership yet, but the dealer has paid for them and the goods are out of the factory.
So when you're saying that maybe your peers actually talked about Dhanteras Day that included deliveries, would that number actually have already been captured in the September numbers of the what has been pushed out of the factories itself?
No, they would not have been captured, or at least 95% of that would not have been captured in September, because these are vehicles that were actually retailed or delivered on Dhanteras Day. But all I'm saying is, as opposed to saying that 150,000 motorcycles or scooters were retailed on a particular day, let's say the 21st of October or whatever it was, it is quite likely that consumers came in progressively from, let us say, the 5th or 7th of October up until the 21st, handed in
And they
their
got their
money.
bikes delivered on that day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, but you know, because in a sense that when one looks at the Dhanteras Day figures, one had expected much better numbers from all the players. That has not happened. But keeping that aside now, I'm interested in trying to understand what kind of consumers of what kind of income profile are now buying more from a company like yours.
Well, Bajaj is always, ever since the launch of the Pulsar in 2001, positioned itself in away from the price-sensitive segments, more towards the bigger and sportier motorcycles, and therefore customers that come to us for a Pulsar or a KTM, a Avenger or a Discover are typically more urban-centric and customers with, in that sense, a greater income at their disposal. And I would like to believe a somewhat different attitude towards motorcycling. For them, the motorcycle is not just something to take them from point A to point B, but they're looking for a motorcycle that is also making a statement in some way or the other. So I think the profile of our customers is quite different in that sense from those of perhaps Hero or HMSI.
But you know, as a brand Bajaj, because it used to be sold as Hamara Bajaj, that's how we grew up, was always seen as a more mass, Aam Aadmi kind of a brand. Have you successfully repositioned it?
I would not say so, because I don't think you can reposition brands, especially brands that are as powerful as Hamara Bajaj or Bajaj Auto was at its time when it represented value for money scooters. So I don't think, the famous marketing guru Al Rees has said that a brand is like a hole in the ground. You can expand it, but you can't pick it up and shift it to another place. So no, we have not repositioned Bajaj. What we have done is to gently move away from under the so-called umbrella brand of Bajaj and create new brands of our own in terms of the product brand or the customer brand, i.e. the Pulsar or the KTM or the Discover, the Platina, the RE, which is our three-wheeler. And therefore, while consumers know that this is brought to you by Bajaj, I don't think anybody walks into a Bajaj showroom asking the salesman for a Bajaj motorcycle. And I don't think they do that with our competitors either. I think they walk in saying, I'd like to look at a Splendor, or I'd like to look at an Apache, or I'd like to look at a Unicorn, or so be it. So I think slowly manufacturers will begin to understand that the two-wheeler game is a lot like the FMCG game, where nobody walks in to buy a Unilever soap or a P&G shampoo. They walk in to buy Dove or Pantene.
Well, I was reading your father's statement in the annual report where he was a little concerned about what has happened to Bajaj's market share. Is market share no longer a major concern? Is it mostly going to be pricing, final sales and not volumes?
Well, I would answer that in two parts. Our strategy is first and foremost driven by the fact that we want to be a global company. Today, we export about half of everything that we make, which is, for example, far removed from someone like, let's say, the market leader here, Hero, which exports maybe 2% of what it makes. Now, therefore, the strategy of globalization dictates that we must be present in multiple countries. I mean, today we are in about 60 countries, and in half of them we are either number one or number two. Now, it is inevitable that when a company is operating in so many countries, There will be some markets that are underperforming, while hopefully a majority are doing well. So it just happens to be the case that right now, in a particular segment, which is the Discover segment in India, we have an issue of market share. But however, I could give you many examples of segments and markets where Bajaj is doing extraordinarily well. So that's the first thing I would state. I don't think we will ever have a year when every market will be going back gangbusters all at the same time. That's not going to happen. Having said that, let me make a specific comment. Our market share at the beginning of this financial year had slipped. Our domestic motorcycle market share had slipped to 18%. As we made certain stock corrections in July and August for the introduction of the new Discover, it actually slipped further to 15%. Yeah. By September, it recovered to 17%. And in October, if my numbers are correct for the industry, it is at a little over 20%, at about 20.5%. Okay. So I think we are already seeing very strong evidence of market share coming back, and I think this trend will continue.
So, Mr. Bajaj, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are betting on an India where income actually lies with a smaller group of people. They have discretionary power to buy, and they don't really care that much if the economy slows down a little bit, and therefore prices are not suddenly affected because people can't buy them anymore. If I look at a smaller player there, which is Eicher, betting on Royal Enfield, doing a very strong branding exercise in positioning it in the upper end of the market. Are you looking at that as well, or are you not going to go down that line?
I will put it slightly differently. I think the strategy for Eicher, and I have to say Siddharth Lal is a very good friend of mine, and I think he's done a fantastic job there. And that of Bajaj is almost identical. And I don't think either of us in that sense are betting on our understanding of the population of this country, if I may put it like that, because we are not sociologists and we are not even economists. We are marketeers, and hopefully we are reasonably good engineers. What we are doing quite simply is to create differentiated brands. I think the reason Pulsar has 45% share of a very large sports segment is because it is a differentiated brand that was first to market and created a category of sports biking in India that was not existent or that was latent up until then. I think the reason Royal Enfield does so well is because it has created its own category, its own niche, smaller than that of the Pulsar, but equally rewarding, as one can see now from their results. It's the same for some of the successful brands of the competition as well, be it a Splendor or a Activa in the scooter segment. So I think we are part of a marketing industry, and our only task or our main task is to create differentiated brands. The simple question that my salesman needs to answer when somebody walks into my showroom is simply this: why should he buy my motorcycle and not that being offered by Hero, TVS, Yamaha or Honda? And the answer cannot be price, and the answer cannot be some nebulous claim like quality or something like that. It has to have a very specific answer that has to be rooted in the design and the performance of the motorcycle. And I think that's what this industry is about.
One final question, Mr. Bajaj. Should we expect slightly lower numbers in November? Because you were saying that most of the festival season was in November last year. In the festive season, there is a tendency, I know there is a lag, but we still see some sales. Do we expect a slightly lower number next month?
Absolutely. November will certainly be lower than both September and October, but again, that is normal. In fact, November will also look somewhat lower than November last year, I would hazard, for again the same reason, that there is a shift or a preponement in the festive season this year. And that is why September this year was ahead of last year. So this shift is there. December, of course, will be worse still because sales taper off in December, especially in the second half of December, and they revive only after the 14th of January. So certainly the next 2 months will be slow for the industry, but once again, that's the norm, nothing unusual about that.
Mr. Bajaj, thanks so much for joining us, taking out time and speaking to us.